Alrighty, good morning. There's Rocky back there sleeping. He just made a little noise. Anyway, he's having a sleep. I haven't done his eardrops yet or given him his treats, but it's only 9:30 in the morning. I have to call the garage and the insurance broker today. I might possibly be going to pick my truck up tomorrow. I don't know yet. I want to make sure that the insurance broker's office is open tomorrow, with Monday being Christmas Day. They may take Friday off. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to tell you a story now. And oh, look at my awful teeth, eh? Terrible. My snaggle teeth. I'm a snaggle tooth Tomer, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story now, and I'm not going to say the name of the person or the company. I'm not going to do that. But anybody who knows me will know who I'm talking about and the company I'm talking about. It's a story about when I worked for the auctioneer, which I did. I worked for an auctioneer for a few years. And he also ended up being my landlord. I rented my house from him. And not an entirely honest person, I'll say that. And partially the reason I'm homeless is because of lies that he told, or at least when he did what he did. Well, when I rented from him, he told me a different thing than it ended up being. And when he sold the house, again, he lied to me about that situation too. And also lied to the buyer about the situation. Anyway, I did do a video way back about all that where I explained how I became homeless. But, excuse me. Anyway, I had to quit working for him mainly because I couldn't handle the smoking in the vehicles. I'd be in a van or a truck riding with other men, all of whom were smoking those native cigarettes. And if you think regular store-bought smoke cigarettes make bad smoke, just try breathing in the secondhand smoke from smokes that come from what we call the smoke shack. For anybody who isn't familiar, up here in Canada, we call them Indian smokes, or native smokes, or native cigarettes. Up here in Canada, the natives, the Indian, what we used to call Indians, that's now considered racist, but I think now we're supposed to call them natives, although maybe that's offensive too. I don't know. If it is, then just rest assured I'm not trying to offend anybody, and I'm not racist against these people or anything. I just don't know what they're calling themselves these days, because it seems like with different races it's always changing. And of course, what we used to call them, they didn't like, and there was a connection to racism in many cases to what we used to call them as white people. And then over the years, it changed or whatever, but now they want to be called something different. And anyway, still, we do call those cigarettes Indian smokes or native smokes or native cigarettes or whatever. And the little stores that they set up to sell them, because what they do is the bands, the Indian bands, make their own cigarettes, which they're allowed to do. They're legally allowed to do it, and then they sell them. Now, as white people, if you're not a native, if you're not a status Indian, I guess you could say, or if you don't have your status card to say that you're a native Canadian, you're not legally allowed to have them. So they can sell them to us, but we can't buy them. But of course people do, and I mean, they even have police officers who buy from them and stuff. And generally the police don't enforce it unless some cop just wants to be a prick. And he pulls you over and he sees you have these things in the car and he really wants to be a prick, then he can charge you. And I mean, some cops are pricks, so you may get charged if you're found with them. But and technically, you can be charged. If the cop elects to charge you, he's well within his jurisdiction to do so. But I think most turn a blind eye to it, and like I say, some of them even buy them themselves. So, of course, even if they buy it themselves, that doesn't mean they won't charge you for buying it, you know. But anyway, um, yeah, the smoke from those is worse. It's a lot worse. They're pretty rough, those native cigarettes. But they're a lot cheaper. That's why people buy them, because in Canada, cigarettes are heavily taxed. You know, a carton of cigarettes now is over $100. It may have, I don't know how many individual packs of cigarettes there are in a carton. There might be 6 or 8 or something. I don't know, but it's over $100 for a carton of cigarettes. But with the native cigarettes, you can buy them in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, and get the same amount of cigarettes, and it'll cost you like $25, and that's why people buy them, eh? But anyway, I couldn't hack being in a van or a truck with other men who were chain smoking these things, and I was sick all the time because of it, and that's why I resigned from the job. But I'm going to tell you a story today, and if my former boss sees this, it's probably going to make him angry. And if he gets angry, so be it. I don't really care. But I'm going to tell the story anyway. And basically, screw him if he's angry. I don't care. It happened. And I'm not lying about it. And I stand behind what I'm going to say. Basically, what happened is this. We went to a job in Kingston, Ontario. And this was a property that had a lot of stuff on it. The house itself was full of glass display cases, which contained NASCAR models. And auctioneers love NASCAR stuff because NASCAR stuff sells. It sells really well. And it goes for good money, too. People will compete. There are people who are right into that stuff, and they will compete with each other for it. And so the bidding can go pretty high. And there's a lot of money in that for an auctioneer, because an auctioneer works on a percentage basis. My former boss worked on a 25% basis. So he got 25% of whatever he took in from the people's goods, you know. So the higher the bidding went, the better it was for him. And that's pretty much how an auction works, you know. And when you have something that a lot of people have a lot of interest in and are willing to pay for, and you get them competing with each other, and auctioneers know how to stir up a crowd to get the people to compete with each other too, and how to egg people on, you know. You're going to let him do that to you? He's going to take it from you. You're going to let him do that, you know? And they'll do stuff like that to egg you on, you know, in order to get the bidding to continue, because the higher it goes, the more he makes out of it, too. And his job is to make the most money for his client, who is the person selling the stuff, and, of course, for himself, because he's got to make money to stay in business. That's all understandable. I'm not running the man down for doing that. They all do it, and it's just the way that business works, and there's nothing wrong with that.